they are banning people for playing the game. It's bad. It's really bad. Good morning, good evening, good night. Welcome back, or welcome if you're new. I really appreciate it and I love to see you here. Make sure to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on more Star Stable drama. Of course, everybody loves drama. I would love to take you along today to talk about more in depth, I guess, what's actually been going on with Star Stable. I did make a part 1 of this like a couple of weeks ago and
it did pretty well.
So I guess I'll just tell you more about it. Of course, I'll make this more simplified for you because that's just what I do, and I'll try my best to make it very understandable because I'm not Star Stable online. Whilst I do such, I'm going to be also grinding on my account, on my alt account, you know. Even from that 40 minutes of gameplay, I've encountered so many stuff that I already can talk about. The first thing that I really noticed when especially I got my alt account to film on, by the way,
you should check out my roleplays.
Game has changed so much. It has started to be so much easier. I remember having to wait at least a week to do the bridge, for example, to Wolf Holland, which is what I'm doing now. Honeybun, I managed to do this in a day. Or for example, the quests and the races with the bobcats, they made it very quick and it starts to get boring really quick. Yes, you level up, you gain all the XP, you know, the euphoria, the sense that you're like leveling up, you know. Recently, a lot of players have been unhappy with Star Stable because it's been changing so much. I talked about it more in the previous video if you want to go check that out. I was really sick of that though. So when you are a big company like that, obviously you're gonna have people that are just simply, you know, or with things you do, you can't accomplish everybody's needs at the same time. However, there are just so many small details that you can do as a company. What really stressed me out recently, they've been banning players that have reached level 26.
First of all,
SSO, why don't you have a cap on the level so you know that there's no way to achieve a higher level than cheating? If you don't have a complete storyline, if you don't have a complete set of quests, I kind of understand not putting a level cap on, but then at least be ready to think that players who have been with you and supported you as a company from the start, when your game looked so bad, you should know your player base. You should know that it is possible because it's your game. You created it.
You know?
Obviously, at the start, I kind of want to make a little disclaimer that I am not coming at any of the workers, any of the employers, you know, anybody who actually does things in the game because they're just there for a paycheck, you know, maybe they enjoy like the digital creating. The actual problems with the game, the instructions that they're given is given by the CEO, the higher ups, all of that. If their job is to put out weekly updates, they're gonna do that, you know, there's nothing you can change about it because they're not the ones making the choices. I do have a list of a couple of topics I want to go over though. Star Stable Online is advertised as a roleplay game, an open world roleplay game, which is a bit strange because Star Stable isn't that. They don't have a storyline where you can make changes in it. The storyline of coming here for a summer camp, which is also like a bit weird. This has such a massive plot hole because they started off as you coming here for a summer camp. It's not that time slowly comes by in Star Stable because you have several Halloween events, you have several winter events, so obviously you've been here for way more longer, and plot holes like that exist in so many places in Star Stable which will just take too long and it's not going to be simplified to go over. But Star Stable, as I said, isn't a roleplay based game. You don't have the butterfly effect which then change how your story ends. The story is the same for everybody that plays the game. Star Stable is an open world adventure game and do quests, you know, have fun. It's an adventure game. Have adventures in here. You have the choice to roleplay, but that's roleplay as we know it, not in the game format where you can make changes in the game. I don't know, would you call that misadvertising? Who knows at this point? I do of course want to talk about the recent bugs because this video isn't going to recap everything that's been wrong with SSO. I mean, if you're interested, I can make like a long video talking about everything that has been going on, all the drama, like the kidnapping of a child, for example, or the chat filter system and the 14-year-old moderators that no longer exists. The chat filter system, This game stresses me out. Today actually, when I'm filming this or editing this, I've experienced myself on an alt account in Norway. You were able to say inside of me. You were able to say something like that, which can be used in such a bad context, especially when your game is advertised for younger children. But I couldn't say taking a picture. I mean, obviously, everything can be used in the wrong context, but I couldn't say my food delivery is here. I was trying to tell people that I'm going to be back because I'm collecting my food. I miss the tags era. You could say something, you can say disco, and people would
kind of understand you.
Children who do not need to know the information, they won't understand what's in between those tags. Today, I'm just gonna go over the recent updates, the recent bugs, and the recent things that I'm unhappy about and that have been stressing me out. I've honestly wanted to rage quit so many times. It bothers me a lot, but again, there's nothing I can do about it except make a video and talk. I will be kind of a bit discreet and very in the middle of it because in the Star Stable community, you don't have an in-between community. Players who love the game, they love the game and they support the game. When they see hate, they hate on the hate. Players who don't like the game, they will harass the players who love the game. There's only two different opinions that you can have. I'm the kind of person who's going to be telling you the information, not picking a side, not picking a story to tell. I am not even going to voice my opinions because, first of all, I don't want to,
get banned.
That has happened before, not to me personally, but to people, People have experienced bugs, they've reported them to Star Stable, and it's an amazing opportunity as a game developer or a company that develops a game to hear feedback. Especially it's amazing when people report stuff that's wrong with your game because you get the opportunity to fix that and you get to know that more. It takes way less time to notice it yourself than when somebody reports it. But instead what Star Stable did in those occasions when people reported horses missing, they blamed it on the customer. They replied with copy and pasted emails, different people at different times, which also confused the story because they kept changing, and they didn't fix the bugs. It's always blaming the customer, which
You never do.
a really bad decision making, A couple of bugs that I've experienced myself recently is horrendous. And I'm sorry, right, but your game is more than a decade old, SSO. So the saying of don't release a broken game really doesn't go with you. Broken updates, bugs that haven't been fixed in months, really? Even with people leaving, you still have a big community that you as a company take on the responsibility to please. Most players don't care about getting a new race when there's so many in the game yet again. They care about being able to actually see people lead their horses, for example. That's not just annoying and breaks the realistic gaming perspective, but key for role players. I personally struggle with this a lot. I stopped complaining about no lead ropes, even though, hang on, they've even asked us which version we prefer in one of their Instagram posts at some point. I'm not even going to bother finding it. But not being able to see myself lead my horse when I'm filming for such a long time
is too much.
Role players are so important for an open adventure game. They are literally promoting your game. A bug like that, or a stable bug, which I've been seeing and experiencing myself for a while, is taking the as well. I don't want to see other players in my home stable. It's my safe place, my hideout. Plus, I definitely know that they don't want to see me. We have an invite a friend option for a reason if you do actually want to have people in your stable. Bugs that have been definitely reported. However, when an update comes out, the next thing they post in their story is bug fix, caught the bug, but not the key problems that ruin the gaming experience. There is so much to tell about how Star Stable treats their player base and the feedback that they listen on, but I did promise to have this very simplified, very short. So again, do let me know down below in the comment section if you do want a detailed version and in parts specifically concentrated on, for example, how they treat their player base. But to do with Star Stable and the player base, the changes in the game as well. They keep changing the game, they keep adding more horses. They have no reason to do that. Considering that, yes, they do promise weekly updates every Wednesday. They don't promise a new horse every month. That's not something that's promised like the updates. So there is absolutely no reason that we need to be coming out with 2 or more horses in a month. Every single code at one time. It used to be that they would release 6 codes, for example, and 6 the next update. And players had the choice and the opportunity to wait it out, save their star coins, and get the horse they want. And they also had the anticipation effect. However, I get the point of saving star coins, inflation, everything, and Star Stable's expenses and loans. Their financial situation has not been great whatsoever, and they've been down, especially the years of COVID, which was like 2020 2021. They have sponsors and lawsuits that they need to take care of. They need to provide for their sponsors, so they sponsor the game, which they are really struggling with because there isn't much playtime. But yet again, instead of actually listening to the player base and doing things that the players would love, so they play the game more, they add a new quest or a new race or a limited time event like the championship ranks, so that the players have to play the game more to earn something. See where I'm coming at this? They don't want to play the game more often, they have to play the game more often. Things missing out of the game. I've recently bought Star Rider for my old account, which is the one I'm training on now, which was not a fun experience at all. They have started recently doing these discounts that they don't announce anywhere. They just pop up on the website and that's it. And I get it, maybe it's like first come first serve, but I had to buy Star Rider full price, almost a £20 difference, because I missed it by 2 minutes. Because I had no idea about it. But I can't really complain about that because practically maybe it is my fault, you know? However, I'm not gonna let Star Stable blame me for things like that like they used to their players. Compared to Star Stable, I've actually just simply been scrolling on mobile and recently came across a few mobile games that have piqued my interest to do with horses. Mobile games that have been made for mobile, not like Star Stable who transferred it. Keeping in mind, there was no need to transfer it on mobile. Yes, it's easier, it's more open to people, but it's the same exact situation as with Star Rider. You used to not be able to jump on Star Rider and do multiple things, where now you at this point never know, probably gonna have all the world open to you if you're not Star Rider. I mean, to be honest, they're probably not gonna do that considering they need
The money.
I get it. Star Stable isn't the biggest corporation. They have one game. It's Star Stable Entertainment. If we're not taking in consideration the other 3 games that they used to have, they have a whole company, a team working with them. Like I played Stridaway not long ago, which was probably made by a team, but not a company, you know? And it's a game in development. It's not released to the public fully yet. It's upsetting that a big corporation like that struggles to do things that small, like the mobile games. The trailer that you're probably seeing right now that I've noticed for a new game that popped up recently, where even the pets are goddamn more realistic. Like, I get Star Stable has a style to kind of accompany, and I love the pets in Star Stable, you know? I don't have a problem with them. It's just these small differences that I think you know where I'm coming from. In kind of a bit of a conclusion for this, I would say that's just basically an update for you of what's been going on. A lot of people are still unhappy, and I think that's not really gonna change. It's never going to change for a company because you are always going to have haters, obviously everybody knows that, but in this exact situation they could have way less. They made decisions that actually value the players, because as we all know, Star Stable really doesn't care about their player base compared to a lot of actually bigger games who actually interact with their player base. You know, I recently also noticed a little funny thing that they've created and, you know, put out new tech, new Western tech that players really want, but didn't release it in the game. It's only available in a bundle of star coins, which is so stupid if you really think about it. There's just so much to be covered,
And I've been talking for like half an hour now. I don't know how I'm gonna edit this.
Be sure to leave a like and subscribe. I really appreciate it. I try to kind of just get you into some things so you are careful, you know, don't report bugs to Star Stable because
They're gonna ban you.
and I will probably do a lot more in the future concentrated on specific topics more. I Hope you enjoyed this. I don't know myself what's been going on with Star Stable. It's been a mess. It's a messy game. It feels like an unreleased broken game. But I will see you next time. Be sure to head over to my Instagram if you have any of opinions that you want to share there, as well as I do offer sneak peeks and a lot more on there. This was Cristina, and I will see you next time. I mean, I hope you don't experience most of the bugs yourselves. They're traumatizing.